everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Michael Huber.
Fight Owens fight.
Brad Ellis.
Sorry.
I need something. You got to do something.
Hi.
What was that? Fight Owens fight?
Fight Owens fight.
What's your thing, Brad?
Nakamura.
Nice.
Nakamura, nice.
Let's go.
And Brandon Jones.
Howdy, everybody.
Howdy.
Howdy.
You could have said, I like Sami Zayn.
Are those
I do like Sami
Is
Zayn.
this wrestling? Is that a
Yeah,
wrestling thing? Fight
They have a
Owens
rival.
fight?
They're a very Goku and Vegeta rivalry, or Naruto
cool.
Sasuke.
Yeah.
All right. Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Former brothers, now enemies.
Bonds.
Yeah.
Jones, how much do you like wrestling?
I used to like wrestling a lot. I got in the NWO. When NWO was first
Whoa!
Bischoff and that
Throwing out Bischoff's
Now-
name, Jones.
like remember when that formed? He wasn't the head of the NWO when that split? The first time it split, the very beginning of the NWO.
It came to WWE.
N64
and then he
era
headed it.
wrestling. I was way into it.
Oh my god.
I used to have. I remember I had this VHS tape that I coveted. That was these cartoons. There was one where like, not Macho Man, but who else we just passed with the kilts? Come on,
Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. I think it was probably one of my favorites. I had a Roddy action figure, and there was one where he like inherits a castle in Scotland from like his uncle or something. His like uncle Scottish and like owned a castle. So like Roddy's got to go and he's got to like get on a horse and do like training and stuff like to be a knight. And he's
So
just
they
like,
would do-
and he'd get really angry and
They
like
would do like animated movies.
animated movies
for
voiced by
lore?
the characters.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's way cool.
And I was way into it. And then they'd have a little skit where it was just like, hey, like Andre the Giant would be by he'd be by the lake and it's like, hey Andre, teach me how to fish. And he's like, hey, fish. And the fish like jumps over and Andre hands it to him. It's like
So great.
but it's like a 12-year-old like, this
So
is the
good.
best.
Yeah.
Jones, what also I love, this is the first time I've ever heard you say that something was coveted. You coveted that
Oh yeah, no,
VHS.
I mean it was it was my own entertainment. You know,
That's
it was
so
like
cool.
now you just go on the nowadays these kids just go on the interwebs and they get their videos.
Yeah.
When that was it. It was just this object that that's why I got my Pinocchio over there in the VHS case. I'd be surprised that baby runs anymore. I just like constantly in and out of the VHS player. So yeah, WWE back in the day. What was the WWF?
Very cool.
I'm very
down.
satisfied with that answer.
Good.
Me too.
Thanks for watching the podcast.
Thanks, everybody. Let's talk corrections. Begin corrections music, please. I neglected to mention Kirby Planet Robobots and Total War Warhammer as big releases before E3. We missed a couple.
Oh, well, there's more than that, I would imagine.
Yeah. But I would count those
Those
as
the
big
biggies?
ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Like someone was like Valkyria Chronicles HD.
Remaster or whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, that's a small game. It's a remaster. The enemy in Home Run the Revolution is not just North Korea, but a unified Korea who has already conquered South Korea and Japan.
Ooh.
Okay.
I like Homefront 1.
Yeah,
I'm alone on it.
because we were talking about Homefront the Revolution
I'm
last
so
week.
excited for it.
So you are hyped for that.
I'm like eagerly awaiting.
I'm hopeful
Cool.
too, yeah.
All right, there we go.
Could be. Never know.
I want to like know what happens in that story. I don't know. Ben always gives me crap about it.
I have
feel
a feeling they're trying to make it a franchise, Huber, and so I have a feeling that the U.S. doesn't win in the end. Like, I feel like we get a small victory.
Cool. That would be cool.
At the end, Russia decides to attack now.
Oh,
Third
yeah.
party.
Then you-
Russia.
The next home front, we go into Korea.
Yeah.
I'd be so uncomfortable with a game like that. You're going through their
Me too,
homes.
Yeah. Jeez. Sometimes it's kicking down doors.
A lot of people tried to correct me for calling Scarlett Johansson an actor.
What?
And I
Is,
just
are
wanna-
we? Is this in the new thing now? Are we gonna
Wait,
bring up
no,
Scarlett
no,
Johansson
for
in
real?
every podcast?
They wanted actress.
They insist on actress.
Dude, my girlfriend is an actor and she hates being called an actress.
There you have it.
She likes being called an actor, all singular, all one,
yeah.
unified.
Actor is an inclusive.
I called her
word, yeah.
actress one time and she was like offended.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How
don't
does
do it.
like the Oscars do it? Is it like best female actor,
they
best
do-
male actor?
I think they do best acting performance male. Or
Oh,
best,
Best
best,
actor
best
in a
performance by an
female-
actor.
Oh,
So gotcha,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
In a
yeah.
leading role.
There it is.
Okay. Flamboyishness is not a word. Many people wrote in to tell us that The Last of Us multiplayer is exemplary. So
Yeah,
we
no,
will-
there is one particular person
Yes,
that
he-
follows us on Twitch
Yes.
who is relentless about it.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
just like
Oh my-
non-stop. And thank you, because I
What is
you know,
his name?
if that was a time, if that was a thing I had time for, I think I would dig it.
Jupiter Fox is somebody who, or Fox Jupiter, one of those.
I
Fox
think it's
Jupiter.
Fox Jupiter. Yeah.
Yeah.
He always talks to me about. I feel
Give that
so bad.
give that man credit for, for like
credit.
never letting down.
That
on trying to get us to
multiplayer
do
is
it.
amazing.
Okay, so we were pretty dismissive of it last week, so we
Right.
feel bad about that.
That multiplayer is a 10.
In Battleborn, it's not every planet that has died, just every star.
Yeah, it's like the last star,
Oh.
right?
Yeah,
I don't know why I
there's
know
so
Oh,
that,
many
okay, right,
planets.
yeah.
but I do.
We had an update on Black Room, which was John Romero's Kickstarter that started last week. It's ended the day after. They postponed it until he's got a playable build. Basically, it launched.
Off to a good start.
Yeah, it was such a bad start. He's like, you know what? No. I'll take it back. Let me get you a playable build, and then we'll start raising money.
Whoa.
I like it. I think that's a good call, to be honest.
Yeah.
It not great for him, but better than not doing that.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. Question.
Let me end corrections music
Okay.
first. End corrections music.
Can a playable build so you can play it before you back it?
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
What
Play
was the one
something.
that was recently? Indivisible did that. You know what I mean? You could play Indivisible.
Yeah,
Cool.
While the Kickstarter was going on.
that got me hyped on that
I'm
game.
into that.
So he wants to do that kind of thing.
I like that a lot.
It's right.
Try
because
before you buy.
the cell was rough. It was a lot of like 2D art. It sounds like a cool game, but it's really hard to invest in,
Sure.
in a bunch of 2D
Need
concept
vision
art.
for it.
Yeah. So yeah, good. That was good news. Do you all remember my favorite way to start a podcast?
Game announcement.
Announcements.
We have a big one this week.
Got it. A very big one.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
There's no more warfare after this.
Yeah, where do you go from that?
This keeps going, dude. This game, they're just gonna keep. This will be
Infinite. They're just like making a statement
final
now.
final warfare. Final warfare.
It's like Disney Infinity. Yeah, Final Warfare.
Final
oh,
Warfare, yeah.
Jones. That's a good title.
final warfare.
Yes.
Ultimate warfare.
Then there's another one after. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Warfare.
Final Warfare
Warfare
Part
2.
JK
2.
Warfare.
Final
New
Warfare
warfare.
Part 2.
New warfare.
COD JK.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, the second podcast we shot of the Easy Eyes podcast, we had the same panel, exact same panel,
Yeah.
and we talked about rumors about a Call of Duty game going full on sci-fi. We talked about our hopes and dreams, and today we have seen it. We watched the trailer. How does it compare to your hopes and dreams for a sci-fi Call of Duty?
It's not sci-fi enough. It's not. Like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, all of those games are science fiction Call of Duties. Like, we've been here. We've done this. I've fought alongside robots. I've killed robots. I've fought in space, even in Ghosts. I think it was Ghosts.
Hacked machines.
Yeah,
you know,
like everything about this was business as usual. Like, if you're gonna give me a futuristic science fiction Call of Duty, just give me the Moonraker.
Yeah.
Give me
I
those
wanted a
laser
Moonraker
guns.
laser.
Yeah.
So a really funny thing about it is the way it's been described from Infinity Ward, we should say. Infinity Ward making Infinite War.
Of course.
Is that they want it to be grounded. Huber, you actually asked them to make it grounded. Remember?
Yeah.
They want it to be like a real, I forget the boots on the floor, boots on the ground style Call of Duty game. And you do get that impression from the trailer, I feel like. Do you both of you, Jones, Brad, do you also feel like they didn't go hard enough into sci-fi?
I think when we originally talked about it, I wanted it to be like just off the walls, nuts sci-fi.
Is it off the walls nuts?
Not enough for me.
What did you see? What did you see in there?
It looked like Black Ops or whatever, all the Black Ops games, except when you're like in space or whatever. I don't know. I haven't played a lot of Call of Duty campaigns, but I didn't see anything new that wowed me or anything like that. Like the robot's cool, I guess.
Yeah, when the
Fighting
robot
space.
grabs,
Yeah, that was cool.
When the robot grabs your arm and like throws you inside the pod doors, oh my god, that guy's awesome.
You have a buddy robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super into that robot.
Have they done like jet sections like that? They've done that before, right? Where
There's
you
a
fly like
sweet
jet?
jet section
Yeah.
of Black Ops
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that
It
part.
reminded me of Halo Reach or whatever.
there was a weak one in Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
It was like a trench one, and you're like
Sure.
going through the desert.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
super hard to figure out what was going on. And that's like maybe if I want to like pull the conversation in my direction.
Pull it over.
But that's like my first thought when like we finally like we break the atmosphere and like oh, like we're in space, like let's go get him, was just like, oh, this is a level. You know, like
Yes.
this is not something that like we had control over. This is that we're never going back to this area. Like this space outside of Earth, like this isn't a place we return to and have to defend at some point. This is just a cool space level that they added.
Well,
so it's like that cool level in Black Ops 3. What if you take away that rig that you were going around and instead add spaceships and stars? You know, and it's like how much different, more different is that? It's a different team, so I'm sure it feels different because it's a whole different crew making it. but there wasn't a lot. I didn't not like it, but there just was not a lot there that was like, whoa.
I really like the
How does
idea
this
though
work?
that each new level is like a new planet. Like that's pretty cool.
Maybe, yeah.
They
Is
showed
that-
some cool planets.
that's
They showed
cool.
some
That's
things.
cool.
But then, no, sorry, Brad. That's not promised.
It's not guaranteed.
Oh, okay.
We just saw some glimpses of
Yeah.
other planets in that
Well,
trailer.
it could be Earth in the future. Earth after, weird looking Earth. Earth with a crazy atmosphere. I don't
And
know.
Infinity Ward, you used to see that as like a beacon of like prominence. Infinity Ward, they're back. They're doing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And now, like after Ghosts, their reputation was so sullied, and then
That was Infinity Ward?
Yeah, and then Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 are like some of the best Call of Duties in a long time. I know Advanced Warfare is kind of lukewarm to a lot of people, but I really liked it. And now, Infinity Ward coming back.
So
I don't
hold
know.
on. Tell me
It's
when.
like a mark of shame.
Tell me, Respawn
Yes.
came off of Infinity Ward,
Yes.
right?
A lot of those guys went on.
And so Ghost was their first post.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was
Got
it. To me, it's the worst Call of Duty.
Sure.
The worst mainline Call of Duty game.
We should talk about the trailer
Mm-hmm.
because to me, I think it's a bad trailer, which is surprising because I think Call of Duty is on top of their game with trailers. There's a few like things where I'm like, you sold this wrong. First and foremost, it has a cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity that is worse.
Yeah, it's
just
not
like-
a good cover.
It's
like
just
that's
like a legit
because,
worse cover.
Because there's some parts like there's some parts in songs if you're gonna take a song where there's like so many sound effects that like anyone could cover. Your younger brother Timmy could cover the song and it'll work, because it's just like, oh, it triggers it reminds me of that song in my head and I get the reference because space, okay, but I really just want to focus on the action. There's like one or two parts of Space Odyssey that's like, come on, man, like hit that part, like, and if you're not gonna at least be like 60% of the original performance of that song, then like why pick this one song? Why have this band?
The original rendition
Do
would
it.
have worked. It would have made the trailer more exciting,
Yeah.
I think. They
Probably
just
would have
had, like,
cost a lot more. That's why they didn't do it.
And considering the wake, in the wake of the death of the man who wrote the song, probably maybe would have been a little bit more.
Yes.
Probably would have rang a little truer.
Yes.
Would have been like, oh yeah, space, that's right. Oh yeah, love you, Bowie.
Yeah, it's like Activision's got the bucks for that.
They have the bucks.
They got the
Pre-order
bucks.
now for David Bowie's greatest hits.
But that's the thing, yeah.
Play as
That
David Bowie.
that seems to me like a decision a lawyer made than a decision, that was like really came from the team. It was
Honestly,
just like,
Jones,
oh, it's
I
gotta be
don't think
this.
it is because the trailer begins with like 30 seconds of like just rock guitar.
And
You know what I mean? I think that's what they wanted was just that.
YouTube,
And like that's how it starts.
YouTube love trailers and like
Yeah.
analyze them. I'm always just like, whatever. Like this one, there's like when the big giant thing is coming down, crushing that guy.
Hold on, what's the giant thing?
It's some big tower comes down and like
It's like a piece of a tank or something. Like
and this guy is like, no, because it's gonna crush him. But then the very next shot, it's like from a different angle, and you see that guy like further down, and it's rolling. So
It's
just
weird.
These weird cuts.
I think it was like a jump cut. I think that the guy you're referring to was a different guy. I think just soldiers, so he might have
So
been in
there's
like in a
two-
similar outfit
okay.
or yeah.
I don't know. I never
but-
noticed that stuff, and that just like popped out at me.
Well, there's one line in there where it's like, it's happened. We're at war with the Federation Alliance group. And it was like, who, what? Why on earth would I care about that line at all? Like, why would that mean anything to me?
And that-
if someone in a Call of Duty game is like, guess what? We're fighting this group. You're like, okay.
Cool, I guess.
Like, so that I think it would be my major complaint if we're going to turn this into a trailer score for 5 seconds. Is
No, I do. I wanted to-
I couldn't. I could if you gave me $500 right now and told me to tell you the plot of that game. I couldn't do it. I'd have to give you the $500 back.
I
Be
think I could.
I don't know. I don't know. There's a group.
I think it's a private military company because I think Securities was in their title.
Sure.
So I think we're gonna.
That's another thing too. Well, that's another thing they say. It's like, how could this have happened? This is one of our own, and it's like, yeah, COD's never done that story before.
Exactly. So this story has been in so many times in Call of Duty. It's always like you and your squad of soldiers saving
Your
the
favorite
world,
general just turns around,
changing,
like,
yeah,
you're like, no,
changing the tide.
I trusted you. Like
just-
every Call of Duty.
I hate the fear because like Call of Duty is such a juggernaut, and you got to appease the masses and like sell a bunch of copies, but like take a risk, like make the story the other way around.
That's why Black Ops
You're-
3 is
You're
so
the warmonger.
gratifying.
You go in and you just destroy everyone or something. Like give me something new.
Or you're going back and forth. Like, if you change Call of Duty, like maybe go back and forth between the good guy and bad guy.
Yeah, they did
You
that
know,
in the
like,
older ones.
You get to be Kevin Spacey. You get
Oh,
to be
no,
the
the
dude
time
from Law and Order or whatever.
That one where you're the crazy guy with a knife going through the village. You're the bad guy. I
Black
hated
Ops,
that
yeah.
one.
Well, they
Yeah.
did like the no Russian one or whatever in Modern Warfare 2, I think, right?
That was impactful.
Best mission.
No
of all
Russian
time.
is extremely impactful.
Best mission.
Yeah. Good example, Brad.
But still could be amazing. It's got a nice. There are a lot of different things happening.
I think the
just,
game might be legit.
I just
really
had no
don't like that
reference on
trailer.
anything. I was like,
Can
I don't.
we switch gears? Talk about the Modern Warfare remaster.
Yes, I absolutely. Yeah, I was
Hold
just want
on,
to get
before
there.
we move on, one quick thing, side bet.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Do you think there will be David Bowie references in that game?
Good bet.
Yes. Yeah. I think that there will be a David Bowie song in that game,
Okay.
sung by David Bowie.
Like, do you think there's going to be you're going to read some file, it's going to be like, oh, Major Tom. Blah, blah,
Oh no
blah.
no 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 no! no. I think there's a scene like at the beginning. It's gonna maybe like a third through the game. You're chilling out at a space station, and like one of the guys is like, "This is Bowie, man."
This is Ziggy, and this is Stardust.
Yeah. And then just like
The robots.
Oh no, we gotta
the
move.
robots.
Yeah.
There'll be a
robots.
Ziggy
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
Stardust robot.
One's red
That's a
and
good
one's
Brett.
gold.
Brad, I want your opinion on this. So here's what's going on. Modern Warfare Remastered. So this is the game Call of Duty Modern Warfare retextured. There's multiplayer included with 10 fan favorite maps. Comes with the Legacy Edition of Infinite Warfare, which is $80. The Legacy Edition Pro, which is $120, or you could get the Digital Deluxe version for $100. Digital Deluxe. There's no other way to buy it.
Wait, whoa, really?
Yeah.
You have to spend at least $80 to get it?
Yes.
Damn. That's
For
crazy.
now.
That's what I want. I want your opinion on that. Is that crazy?
Yeah, that's oh man. I bet there's so many people out there that would just buy that standalone.
How about you?
No, I don't want to buy it. No, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Okay. All right.
But that oh god, that's
help me get my thoughts out.
Sure.
Like I'm trying to find all the right words.
Let's
right?
guide you.
Call of Duty is the epitome of a one and done game for me, right?
Sure.
I love going through the campaign of Call of Duty. I have absolutely no desire to go back and play Modern Warfare. Like, been there, done that. Like, done that campaign. As for the multiplayer, I feel like they are like every Call of Duty multiplayer is such a product of the time. By coming out every year, you're telling me as a consumer, like, we're just iterating it. It's the same thing. It's the same foundation. We're just iterating it every year, making it better, tweaking it, adding a couple abilities and whatnot. So Modern Warfare Remaster is like, by the way they're selling me Call of Duty, an obsolete product. Like, the multiplayer itself is obsolete. Do you see that? Am I
No.
crazy to think like that?
I think you're crazy to think like that because it's simplified. Mm-hmm. This is the first Modern Warfare game. You know, it has whatever. I think they still had like the drops. I think you could call in drops. It still had like
in
kill
one.
streaks.
Oh, the most imbalanced kill streaks there are.
Yeah. But you know,
Insane.
it's not gonna have jetpacks. It's not gonna have flying around in space. And I think it'll be pared down. And I think that there is an appeal to that.
Cool.
Jones, is it fair to hold it hostage in an $80 package?
Forever? Do you think?
Hubert
Is it
thinks
never
not.
going to be?
There's no way.
There's no way it's going to be sold. It's not going to be sold separately at some point.
There's
no
probably
way.
there probably definitely is a way. Right now on their Q&A or their frequently asked questions on their website, it says the only way to get this
Sure,
game
right now,
is,
yeah.
exactly,
Until
Of course, they're going to say that.
yeah, I think it'll release after
Sure.
Infinite War.
yeah.
Just milk it.
Like a couple months down the line.
Yeah, come on, next year.
Sure.
Play it next year.
Will you play it next year?
No,
Because you're one and done.
I'm one and done on that, but I will play Infinite War. Gladly play it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jones, where do you stand? Do you think that was a good idea to remaster Modern Warfare?
Yeah, I wonder if because Ghost was like right after next gen. That was like the first COD next gen.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just like I pity anybody that's got to develop any kind of game for a console at that point. Like that never works out. The first sports games are all terrible. It's like everyone's just trying to figure out. It was like our first streams. Like we didn't know what the hell we were doing that first day. And like
Yeah, I
we
can really-
smooth it
thanks
out
for
over a while.
relating that, yeah.
So I wonder if that just came up in a conversation and like when they were doing Ghost, they were like, oh, it's next gen though. What if they're like, there's no time. There's no way. We got 3 years though to do it because your turn's not going to come up again for another 3 years. So it's like that kind of excites me that this might have been something that it was just obvious to them forever. They're like, people loved that game.
Yeah.
And that you did bring up a good point, which makes me like it, just to bring up a counterpoint, that it is so drastically different from the other game it's coming with.
Yeah.
So that you can kind of look back at the history of modern Call of Duty and just kind of like see where we started and where we're at now.
Yeah, I mean, Modern Warfare does some interesting things, like you said, where you feel like the bad guy. The bombing mission at night is kind of impactful. I think that one's kind of cool.
Oh, it's just
It's
smoke.
like night vision.
Dudes just vanish and smoke.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Like you're in a helicopter or something, and you have to like shoot down at people, and like you just have like a very cold voice in your headset, just like you got them, and you're just like
Oh, in Modern Warfare,
you got 'em.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern
Okay, I
Warfare,
kind
yeah.
of remember that.
That's a kill.
Are the Spec
Yeah.
Ops coming
So
back?
interesting.
Do we know?
Sorry.
Are the Spec Ops coming back? Those Spec Ops, baby. Do you
Oh,
remember
that
that?
was
so, yeah.
co-op,
The
right?
co-op
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
They gotta
Jones,
come
I
back.
Because
don't
one
think
of them,
that's coming back.
because one of the things that you
gotta come
had was that where one guy was on the helicopter and the other dude was on
Yeah.
foot, and you were
Jones-
just like, wait.
there was also you could be sniping buddies with
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah,
No, that was-
those were
And
so
you would do a
fun.
countdown together. You would do
Yeah.
a split screen. You're
Those
like,
Spec Ops
ready?
missions
3,
came and went.
2,
Yeah.
1. Poof, poof.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Felt
did that.
so good.
Yeah.
I know, I miss them.
Want the Spec Ops?
I know.
Oh, we want those Spec Ops.
Give me like a $20 Call of Duty Spec Ops downloadable game.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of Spec Ops.
Oh, dude, those sniping missions. Okay, so let's move on. I want to talk about this one just for a little while because I don't know that much about it. Dawn of War 3 was also announced this week.
No subtitle, so hot, love it.
Just Dawn of War
Dawn
3.
of War
Bold
3.
statement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring it back.
Bring it, we're back.
I think technically it might be Warhammer 40K Dawn of War 3.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the subgenre
they just
that
sell
it
it
is.
as Dawn of War 3 on their own website. They're just
Yeah.
like, this game is Dawn of War 3.
Do it.
But it is a Warhammer game. It is a real-time strategy game in 2017, exclusive to the PC platform.
And Total War Warhammer's coming out soon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm more excited for that one. That the mixing of Total War and Warhammer. It's
Total
cool.
War is like the
Rome, Total
historical
War Rome, and
strategy
Attila.
game. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
Right.
This is like Sega working its
Yeah.
connections. Because I should have mentioned that it is being developed by Relic and published by Sega. Dawn of War 3.
cool.
I don't know if we have much to say about it. It was a very I loved the trailer. I want to hear what you all thought about that trailer.
It was emotional. Didn't teach me too much about the game. I think it was more just the world of Warhammer. The Warhammer, I think it might have been Dawn of War 2, had some really good cinematics. Apologies if I'm confusing that with another game, but like I remember that kind of cluing me into a couple characters, maybe making me wonder like when does this take place, or like why does that guy able to summon that thing and this happens, and this was just kind of like Warhammer. It was just kind of painting the scene of that, and so I would have maybe just steered it a little more in either direction, just kind of like clue me in more into what you're doing with 3. Or even like with Diablo 3 when that got announced and that woman was in the room and then the candle went out and she had a vision. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but at least I'm curious who she is. Whereas with this, it's just bodies and blood and stuff.
So I'll say, Jones, is actually when I read one and they wanted to sell from this game, that actually ties into it. The current developers are not too stoked about how focused Dawn of War 2 was on particular heroes, and they want to negate that. They want to go back to controlling the large units. They want to go back to base building. And I think one thing they really try to communicate in the trailer is the massive units. You see super tall elven robots and super tall human
And
robots.
watching it from an RTS perspective was really cool too, because they drove that home of like, okay, you got these guys and these guys coming in and these guys, like, I love that. Just seeing RTS units in like full glorious CG cinematics. It's so cool because
It's
like
rare, dude.
Yeah, because when you go in the game, they're just kind of like mashing at each other, but you really get like the sense of identity.
It's a big budget, PC exclusive, real-time strategy
I
game.
was just
dead.
saying that. I was
Yeah.
respecting the budget they put in all that.
Yeah,
How much faith they have in it.
because you don't see a lot of stuff like this anymore, do you, Brad?
don't. No.
Are you hyped for this?
That I'm
means
not like
no. Okay, that was a long
here, let me
pause.
explain this though.
Okay.
I think it's a really cool franchise,
Yeah.
but I've just barely played any of it.
I
So it's hard for me to
100%
have a
relate to
huge connection to it.
Yeah.
But when I
Hop in.
saw it, I'm like, dude, awesome.
This
That's
is the
really
one.
cool.
We're hopping in.
I'd
Okay.
say like excellent script. I don't know, if you love video game trailers, it's worth checking out.
Sure,
It's
yeah, it's a
good
cool trailer.
The falling corpses really drove it home for me.
Oh yeah,
Like it raised it a level. It leveled up right there. I was like, okay.
and the music.
Wow.
Well, there's some,
Yeah.
there's some like people talk about that a lot with games where they're just kind of like, or you think about that, where it's like, how many people am I killing, to go through this? And it's like, we're so desensitized to that. And I kind of like that it's not like everyone dying is a really bad thing. War is so bad. It doesn't really kind of get into that. It's just kind of like, look at, this is this world. Like, look at this horrible world that look at these people like are like prey to war almost. It's like the beginning.
Yes.
Like they always like approach war like their church. It's like I don't know. They really kind of shine a light on like not only how bad war is, but imagine an entire planet. There's just war. I mean, it's just a whole culture that's just war. You know, there's no. It's one thing that like us humans on a planet are like, how do we communicate with the North Korea or with Russia or with the Middle East? And with these, it's like they're orcs, dude. Peace is never gonna happen. They're just a complete other species. Like we're not sitting down at a table with these guys ever.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe. That's like the one thing I got from. I wish maybe the message they pushed a little bit more to say like this is not only Dawn of War 3, this is Dawn of War. Because as someone who's not a fan, I'm always the question when it's a sequel is like, is this different? Are you turning it in a different direction, or is this like more Dawn of War than ever? And that's the vibe I got. It just didn't really really openly communicate that. But maybe that's good. Maybe it's always the best thing about a good trailer is when you're like, that's what I gleaned from it, so I'll take that.
It seems
you
like
can
the
manage
things
to do
you've
that.
Gleaned are huge, though. I really like the concepts that you've absorbed from it, Jones.
Hopefully they're in the game.
Trailer master. Yeah, you're right.
So I was not looking forward to this, but we have to do it. We have to talk about this. Very shortly after the podcast concluded last week,
Very shortly.
we got some news from Japan, across the ocean, about Nintendo. Basically, guys, I think I'm going to go through this. I'm going to tell you everything that we learned last week, and then we're going to dissect it in the order that you want to talk about it in. Okay?
Okay.
So, first of all, the console, codenamed NX, has a new release date, March of 2017. The only game confirmed for this console is the new Zelda game, formerly referred to as The Legend of Zelda Wii U. That game has been officially delayed until 2017, where it will launch on Wii U and NX at the same time. At E3 this year, the NX will not be discussed. In fact, Nintendo has stated that the Wii U version of the Zelda game that comes out next year simultaneously on Wii U and NX will be the only playable demo they will have at E3, despite reserving floor space equal to that of Xbox and PlayStation. Where do we start? Where do we start?
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
This is a positive thing.
Yeah, please, Huber.
Positive vibes.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, you are going to be playing a new Zelda on a new Nintendo console in less than a year.
It's important to remember that. Yes.
Remember that.
Yes.
That is epic. Mm-hmm. Who cares? I'll wait.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's the thing of
New
Legends.
Zelda, new Nintendo, new console. Here we go again.
Yeah, that's true.
It's epic.
Jones, where do you want to start? Somebody came into your office and dumped a garbage can full of trash onto your desk. What do you pick off first? You're like, okay, I got all this trash. What do you pick off first, Jones?
We never got a Zelda for this console. You know,
You're still technically gonna get one.
that's a problem. I mean, like your main franchise.
Let's talk about the Wii U. Okay, let's talk about the Wii U.
I'm not surprised at all that the game's not coming out this year. I didn't think Zelda was coming out this year.
Despite them first saying 2015 and then putting out a trailer that says 2016, you said it's still not going to be 2016?
I was not, yeah. Because what is that game? What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? We're talking about the red mountains and the horse that dodges trees. And the spring load jump attack, right? He jumps, the opponent will stop and he'll launch Link off, so Link can be up in the air and shoot the thing. Oh, and there's dungeons over there. See that thing over there? That's a dungeon. That's the game. 2 years of just knowing that this game existed.
That was off-screen footage you're describing, Jones.
No title,
Yeah.
no enemies, no nothing. Like, this game is just not a game. There's no game there for me right now. Like, it seems like some weird prototype thing. It's like, it might as well be blurry in the background with Miyamoto. Like, this is the thing I'm working on. It just doesn't. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for me. So until I will not even enter into a discussion of any release date for that game until I get a trailer that you're like, oh, there's the game. Now they're actually selling a video game, as opposed to just like, hey, we're filming this meeting we're having right now about Zelda, and we'll let you watch it.
So, Jones, you're getting that at E3. Nintendo is dedicating their entire floor space to this one game, the Wii U version of that one game.
Right.
What? That
blows
unheard
my
of.
mind.
That is unheard of.
There's literally gonna be no other game.
They've said no other playable demos other than
No playable demos.
yeah. So
If
maybe
it's-
they'll have
okay,
trailer
they're
showing.
gonna have
There's
like
only
90
there's
3DSs.
only okay. There's two things I can think of. One, maybe there's like crazy mini game stuff you can do in this game.
Oh, so I'll
So maybe
explain.
like all the demos are going to be different demos, you know? Like
They want it to be immersive, is what they've said. They want it to
Okay.
be immersive for the people on the show floor. That's their excuse.
Oh, they're gonna do like a what was the venue with MGS4? It was the
What?
that
What?
it was like an E3
E for all?
E for all Metal Gear Solid 4 demo.
Okay.
They took you into like a trailer on the show floor, gave you headphones, pulled the curtains,
Okay.
and said play for 15 minutes.
I bet it's like that.
Yeah.
But I bet it's going to be like play for a half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably be very long.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best demo ever. It was so cool to play it like that, you know, because like a demo on the show floor, you can't, like, I don't care how in
Yeah.
tune and in the zone you get, like, it's, you don't want to hog it, you know, because people are waiting, everyone's waiting, it's chaos, it's so loud everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't really get in the zone.
And you got some guy just standing over you
Yeah.
the whole time
Oh,
watching
sure.
you.
So that'd
Yeah.
be a cool, like, immersive. That gives me hope. Like, you're going in the back.
So there's hope. There's hope for Nintendo being weird at E3.
That shows they're like respecting that experience. To me.
Yeah.
Like this is a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
So it is-
Oh, that
it's-
gets me so hyped.
It's Zelda's 30th anniversary, and
Yeah.
I mentioned that a lot. They want to honor Zelda this year.
By
I
not
li-
bringing the game
I
out.
like that word you just used is respect it. To me, it's like, you have nothing, you losers. But you're just like, no, they're just propping up Zelda.
No, I mean they literally have nothing. That's true. But they're at least showing Zelda some respect, I feel like.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's talk about the Wii U, because this big Wii U game that the Wii U had, it no longer has. That's gone.
This is exactly like Twilight Princess. Same thing.
The difference is the GameCube still had games that came out that last year.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right now for the Wii U,
Well, you got some games coming out.
we have Tokyo Mirage Sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and we have Paper Mario Color Splash,
Which you're thrilled about, I'm sure.
and nothing else.
And Fire
announced.
Emblem.
That's Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Oh, Tokyo Mirage.
It's been
Whoa,
renamed,
there's-
yeah.
I thought there would be at least one more game.
Brad.
No.
nothing,
There's
dude.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. That's
Touche.
right.
Touche, Brad. Well done.
So
well
I'm
done.
super hyped for that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Brad's the biggest
Dude,
fan.
Bowser on the ski slope, man. Look out.
Well, this is Summer Olympics,
Summer
but
Olympics. Bowser on the
Bowser
track,
lifting
man.
weights, man. Oh, dead press.
Bowser doing shot put. Look out.
do we believe that it'll stay that way? Will Nintendo honestly not release any? Because basically what we had last year was a couple of filler games.
Mm-hmm.
We had Amiibo Festival, and we had the Mario Tennis game you reviewed, Huber, which had again, just to reiterate,
Not a game. Not
no
a game.
tournament mode.
Yeah, it's not a game.
There was no tournament you could play through in that game, in the Mario Tennis
crazy.
game. They just gotta poop those out, clearly. Do you think they'll do that again this year, so Wii U has something?
Yes. I think Paper Mario was like a clear sign of that. Didn't they just make one on 3DS?
Yeah, but it doesn't. To me, I'd hate it. I hate everything about it. It still doesn't seem like a filler game in the way
Okay.
that Mario Tennis was and Amiibo Festival was.
Sure. Oh yeah, Amiibo Festival is garbage.
Yeah.
I feel like Kirby is the default. Like, oh, let's shit out a game. Let's get a Kirby on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Let's get some kind of Kirby game. That'll make everyone happy.
Maybe they'll have some new 3DS games or something. I don't know.
Oh, there's lots of new 3DS games coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any-
So
Anything
won't
like-
they're not gonna have those at the booth?
No.
No, they don't give a shit.
Isn't that crazy?
It's Zelda
I don't
time.
bel-
Always
I don't
3DSs.
believe
There's like
that.
100
Yeah.
of them.
Like I don't believe that.
So I thought so too. I looked at the official press release from the presentation that Kimishima gave, and it looks like he just says we're only focusing on Zelda at E3. But the Nintendo of Europe says that is the only game we're showing at E3. That's what Nintendo
Mixed
of Europe
messaging.
said. So maybe like there was a mistranslation there or something. I assume in their like the presentation, like their E3 Direct or whatever, we'll see more games. But it sounds like on the floor, Zelda only.
But like
Wait.
Bandai Namco wouldn't have one game at their booth. Like Funcom wouldn't have one game at their booth.
How crazy is that? Yeah.
Like Wargaming doesn't have one game at their booth.
Didn't Konami have one game last year?
To have a
No,
console
they still have the
creator.
soccer game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
With that much real estate too.
Yeah.
That's gnarly.
One other crazy thought that I'm thinking of is like, is game of the show that important to him? To just be like, let's there would be 6 hours of this game there, so that like we have so many people leaving the show. They're like, yeah, that was really great. I mean, all those games were cool, but like, how do you beat that Zelda experience we had, man? That's a game of the show. There's no question.
I have a theory.
No game at all brought more to the show than Zelda did. It was just Zelda all over the place. I got a Zelda costume. I got a sword. I got a hat. I played 5 different demos. You know.
So here's
I
my
got to
theory.
lie in the hammock with Princess Zelda for 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah, it's kind
I
of.
don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah. We'll
That
see.
that is. I have never seen. It wouldn't be like, well, I've never seen Nintendo do that. I've never seen a publisher do that at E3.
Nobody.
What is
Yeah.
E3 for if you're just going to show off a game? Like what? Wow.
So here's my theory.
Especially, I'm sorry, just to say
Yeah.
this, especially considering I just fell in love with a game called Neo that I was not on my radar at all, and now I am obsessed with this game. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, when this game comes out, I am playing the crap out of it. I didn't pay anything for this game. This game just happened.
It's a demo.
I just was talking to Ben Moore one day, and I was like, oh, how much is that demo? He's like, it's free. You can download it right now. I'm like, this thing is free, and then I could go to check it out. So like, there was no event, there was nothing, and this demo just stumbled across me, and then now I'm obsessed with this game. I'm gonna buy it day one. And they're spending millions of dollars to pimp a game that was announced 2 years ago that everyone who's going to buy it has probably sold anyway. It's just it's so weird. It's like, why double down? It's like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just like everybody puts their chips on the board and then you put your chips on one thing and then you're just like, wait, no. And you take every chip you have, you're just like on that one thing.
So I think what happened, everybody, I think this was not the plan. This was
No.
not the plan as of January. You know, I think this is a very recent, like, last resort. The NX, I truly believe Nintendo planned for the NX to come out this year.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you could tell by their software, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You could tell, but basically the last year was filler year because they were getting ready for this year. Leaks that have been proven true, pointed out, like, hey, it's coming out this year, and so is Zelda. Zelda's coming out this year. I think something bad happened. Rumors say AMD had a chip issue. Nintendo themselves said we're like what Jones said, we can't figure out Zelda. We're having quality problems with Zelda. So like, honestly, I think this was like a last. They're like, we already reserved all this space. We already have this whole space. What do we do with
For
it?
NX.
All we have,
Yeah.
And they're like, all we have is Zelda. It's just like, fine, let's just put Zelda in there. I honestly think this is the last resort. That's my theory, anyway. I have a question for the panel. Do you remember the last time Zelda or Nintendo launched any hardware in March?
No, I don't.
No.
It
Not
was-
off
it
the top of my
was
head.
the-
Like a DS probably though, or something like a
It was
handheld.
the Nintendo 3DS.
Okay,
was
but
the last
not
time they
a
launched in
home
March.
console though. I
Yeah.
think
How about home console? Any other time they would launch something in March?
I can't think really.
No, never.
Yeah.
Never would they launch a console in
Yeah.
March.
Middle of March.
The
There you
Super
go.
Nintendo was August. That's kind of summer. I mean,
Yeah.
that is summer. But
That's crazy.
everything else is fall holiday season.
Maybe
It's
they're just
ridiculous
trying
they're
to get away
launching
from.
it in
Maybe
March.
they're being like Nintendo and like, oh, we're not taking part in this fight, and we're gonna release next year.
Yeah, their excuse was like, we just want to have the games ready.
That I mean, yeah.
The games weren't happening. I honestly think
Yeah.
they were just having issues
Okay.
getting the games together.
Yeah.
I'm stressed.
I would kill
It's
for
okay,
you
Kyle.
to be a fly on the wall there.
Bring
Yeah.
it all back, Kyle.
I just
Bring
love
it all back.
I just love your
Zelda
comment, like
next year.
the direct comment from Boston an hour after like he leaves my house last Tuesday is like, okay, everybody get back in the car. We're going back to Jones's. We got to talk about this right
Yeah.
now.
What did I say? Like I'm wrecked. I'm torn apart. I was emotionally hurt last
Yeah.
week when I
Yeah.
got this news. It hurt.
It is real hard. Props, Brad,
New
right out of the
system.
gate
Yeah.
for putting a silver lining on this because this is hard to spin.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to say.
I've had time to.
It's
think
hard to
about
say
it.
just focusing on one game is going to be good for you as a Nintendo consumer.
No rush,
Get in
baby.
line for a game.
game. One
And
game.
by the way, this game that you're playing on Wii U isn't coming out this year.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
showing you
not
the,
coming out
the
this
worst
year.
version of it. Probably.
Will guarantee like you're playing the worst version of it. Welcome to the worst version. Welcome to the best experience on a console you're not going to be playing in 9 months. Like, there's, yeah.
It's baffling. It's still baffling to me.
It's a Zelda game on a new system. There's nothing better. I'll wait.
It's
as
that.
long
That
as it
is the
takes.
dream usually.
Period.
Just hold out.
But
Period.
but
Zelda on a Nintendo, like Zelda is the best. Like it's not my favorite game, but I always just look at it and I see a masterpiece. Like
Yeah.
it changes video games every time it comes out. It's got the legacy. I've never been disappointed in my life. Like if they want to take their time, if they have
But
problems,
it's like it like reminds me of somebody that lives like check to check, you know, and it's like you got the advance on your next check, but you can't. We got to wait till your paycheck comes in so you can pay this payment. And so like you don't really have money, really. You're just kind of always like your limits, and so you
Story of
know
my
like
life,
what you
baby.
can do. And I feel like that's where they're at with Zelda, where it's just kind of like we're just gonna cash that one more Zelda check on good graces enough to sell another console, just enough to get another handheld out, just
I kind
enough.
of think it's the opposite, Jones. I think they're extremely wealthy, and they're just like, you know what? We don't have to hit this holiday season.
No.
Why hit March? Why not push it back to fall?
March is the end of their fiscal year,
Okay.
so they do
There you
want.
go. There you go.
They do
Yeah,
want
yeah,
that
yeah.
money. They
Okay.
do want that money. Yeah. That's why it's March.
Sorry, can I come back to Huber's point?
Yeah,
real
you had a
quick?
butt. You had a butt that was hard.
Like, I totally agree with Huber on everything. The only thing that bums me out is when I play Zelda on the new console,
Yeah.
I will have always in the back of my mind that it's being held back slightly.
Do you have a word
from
for
older?
that?
What?
Compromise.
Compromised, yeah. Like, that's what with Twilight Princess with me, too.
Sure.
Oh, Ben.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is a GameCube game where they literally flipped it, the entire thing. And I'm going to have that in the back of my mind a little. It's going to probably be a 10 out of 10 regardless.
What happened when they when Twilight Princess was compromised on Wii?
That's what Brad's
The
talking about.
best Zelda game of all time.
But it was still in the back of his head.
It was still
But
in the
it's
back of my
still
mind.
the
I know,
best
I
game.
just said that.
Yeah.
It's the best. What's
I
the
know,
problem?
but I'm just like, it's selfish of me, but I always want the best possible thing out of Zelda every time.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that'll be linked. It's like it's a total personal problem. And I get why they're doing it. Which is a little pet peeve
Maybe
of
there'll be
mine.
Another Zelda at the end of NX.
That's what we thought last time.
Not in the way they're going now.
Hey, do you guys hear that? Sounds like podcast halftime.
The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of May: Michael Kozachenko, Devin Gibbs, Michael Favacci. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. YoYoTricks.com, a tutorial website for teaching people how to yo-yo. To buy yo-yos and learn how to get started, visit YoYoTricks.com or their YouTube channel. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you.
Tapestry.
Michael Favacci,
Favacci.
sneaking in there in
New
May.
name. Thank
Every
you,
time I
Favacci.
hear the word tapestries, I think of Ever After.
Oh boy. With Drew Barrymore?
Yep.
Oh boy.
The tapestries. That's like
Turn popped in my head.
What a pull,
Some
man.
British general saying that.
get the tapestries.
Yeah.
Tapestries.
Down tapestry.
We have some news that's not terrible out of
Yeah.
from Nintendo last week that I do want to discuss before we move on. There are 2 more mobile games that they're putting out before the end of the year. Mm-hmm. One for Animal Crossing and one for Fire Emblem. Let me describe. Huber is
Wake me
checked
up
out.
after this one.
Okay. So, Fire Emblem is going to be a strategy RPG. They want it to
Shocker.
be legit. They want it to play out
Oh.
like an RPG.
Okay.
Animal Crossing, new play style, connection with dedicated video game systems. I'm getting the impression Animal Crossing will not be a complete Animal Crossing
Yeah,
game.
it'll be like a side thing to go along with the new Animal Crossing they're
Sounds
inevitably
like
making.
it. Yeah.
Animal Crossing NX. Launch game.
No, not launch game, but I'm
Launch game, baby. Calling it right now. Bets.
That'd be awesome.
Animal Crossing NX.
a new Animal Crossing in March.
launch?
Yeah. Little side dish with my Zelda. Cool off in my little house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
It's not
happening.
right. Huber, I want to take that bet, but I'm
No,
not on a winning
no,
streak.
no.
I can't take it. I'm not going to take that bet.
It's happening.
I'll take that bet against Huber.
Okay, yeah.
You won't
Okay.
take that bet against Huber?
You'll take it?
I'll take it
Okay,
right now.
let's go.
Animal Crossing at launch?
Launch.
There's no way.
All right, so what? Like, winner gets to name the loser's town?
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll do that.
Wait, does that make you think there's gonna be a new Fire Emblem then? Also,
No. Just Animal Crossing.
Because Fire Emblem is a standalone
a
game.
brand new okay.
And this one, by their own admission, will connect with dedicated video game systems.
So it'll be like, hey, this is the fossil game, and you just collect fossils in it, and
Maybe,
it goes in
yeah.
your house.
Yep.
Well, it'll
Or the
be
fishing game or something.
it'll be it's just text. It'll be like a text thing with your friends. They want you to like friend up in the app.
Oh, sure.
So then when the game comes out, you already have your friends. Your town's already made.
No, I need more than
You
that.
know, like
You need more than that.
I need more than that. That sounds like Miitomo.
And Mitomo dropped off. Hard.
Miitomo was cool for a week,
Yeah.
then you're done.
Jones, do
it
you still
dropped
play
off.
Mitomo?
Interesting. No, I never got into it. I missed
Yeah.
that fad came and went.
It's gone, dude.
gone.
Dodged it.
Yeah.
Good dodge.
Because that was hot, man. Like
It was.
People were
Great dodge.
obsessed with that thing.
Yeah.
But that was like, what was that drawing game where you draw and send your
Draw
friends?
something.
Draw something, yeah.
Yeah.
Draw something.
Draw
game's
something.
hard.
That was it.
It's sold
I bet
for,
you were
I
so
think-
good at that.
I sold. Yeah, I really loved it actually. I love to draw something.
But I had to sit. But I remember I had a really interesting feeling I've never had before with any other game because it was so hot. It came out. It was so hot. I had a friend of mine who was like, "I will unfriend you. I will not talk to you anymore if you don't get this game." He's like, "This is all I'm playing with my friends right now. I need you in on this." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And like got in, was so hooked. And then I remember one day I booted it up and I was just like, "Wow, this is a lot of work. I don't feel like doing the work of drawing something right now." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna play anymore. Oh, this game's not gonna work, is it?"
Yeah.
And I remember having that moment, and like I really rarely want to do this. Be like, I knew before it failed, but like
Yeah.
I did have that thought where I was like, oh no, here we go. Like if I was in day one and I just got bored, I bet it's gonna start happening on it like at a day-to-day basis. And I think it went on for like another month, and then just.
I got
And
caught in the
It
zeitgeist.
sold for
Completely
like $1
bottomed
billion
out.
by this company
I
called.
mean, good for them,
Untitled
you know,
Chapter,
for
something
pulling
like
that off.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. Anyway, so
No, the company was called OMG Pop. I think Zynga bought OMG Pop, and all they had was Draw Something. Draw
Then I
Something
bet
2
they
made
regret
it bomb.
that.
but
Yeah.
Mitomo would be the same. That's even
Same
quicker
thing-
than that.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
Wow.
just gone.
Yeah, I know Ben is frustrated about the Animal Crossing thing. I love Animal Crossing so much that I'm excited when I get any kind of announcement because it means it's not totally dead. Because it's just like, where are we at with Metroid? Like, where are we at with that? You know, like
we got a 3DS game.
there
coming
are
out
some
in
right.
August.
There are some Nintendo franchises where I think we're like worse off than where we were at with Animal Crossing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's-
So I kind of I don't know, I'm down. I think there's a lot of like sending mail and stuff. Like I could see the new Animal Crossing coming out and then being like, oh, if you played on the mobile game, you have all this extra. You can make your stuff red walnut.
Yeah,
You know, wood or whatever.
Kyle, let's be honest.
Sure.
It can only go up from Amiibo Festival.
It can't be worse than Amiibo
Yeah.
Festival. That game is simply dreadful.
Yeah.
That's a
Horrible.
dreadful game.
It's horrible game.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you like schedule us to stream a game and then I show up like 15 minutes late for the stream and I'm like, so how's this like we stopped already, we're dead.
That was
We
the
moved on.
fastest we ever bailed on a game.
Yeah, we tried to stream it.
It's like,
we
you
were
can't even
hyping
put it back in so you can just watch it. You're like, you won't, Jones. Trust us. You don't want that game.
Jones, if I can describe it, it's like shoots and ladders. There's no shoots nor ladders. So it's just like a board game where you roll and move. And then you kind of have to sell radishes like you do in the game.
Wow.
So there's an economy of selling.
Radishes are like my least favorite part of it.
I know, and they're like, let's put this onto a board game. But here's what I like about it is that they're doing both strategies. Hey, if you want a committed RPG, if you want a legit game, we're making that. If you want just like a companion app, we're doing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hubert, do you like their kind of plans, their mobile plans?
I love it because it's a companion app to the NX launch game, the real deal.
Okay,
It's
all
a
right.
two-step plan. This is step one.
I'm curious if the panel will think this is good news or not. Mighty Number 9 has a new official release date. It is not in the spring of this year as was previously promised. It is coming June 21st on all platforms except for 3DS and Vita. Those are coming later.
Right after E3, after all the stuff.
June 21st? Oh, okay, sure.
Like a week after E3.
Yeah. So there's that. There's Mighty Number 9's got a release date. I don't know what to say about this one.
I got nothing.
Yeah, kind of dead.
Yeah.
Kind of numb to everything associated with that game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm in the same camp, dude. I'm a big Mega Man fan too. I'm just like, you had your chance in a Fune. You missed it.
Vicious.
But it's like...
He did. I think that's I mean, if we want to say something about it, it's like, thanks for showing us not how to do that. You know, the Shanks were giving us like multiple examples of not necessarily like, you idiot, but like, ooh, I wouldn't, yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, like that's maybe not the best way to do it.
Lessons learned.
But, you know, you boot up your PS4 one day. You're on the store, you're browsing.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Mighty Number 9.
Uh-huh.
$14.99? $19.99, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You gonna pick that up? You gonna push X?
Depends
I'm
what I
not
got in
pushing
the
X.
log.
Or are you gonna push X, Jones? Are you gonna buy it? You're
No.
just browsing
No, I'm
one
not.
day.
No, because I was not a Mega Man guy growing up. So
Okay.
And here's, I think, like the honest hard truth is a year ago, I'd be much more likely to press X.
Me
And I
too.
think that's the case for a lot of people.
right.
Now it's too much.
There's gonna be hesitation for me now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, dude, I got to play this right now. It's be like, what I got right now that
Yeah.
I need to finish first.
Brad's
the
waiting
well
for the
is
sale.
dry.
Marketing.
And I was a big Mega Man fan too.
Marketing is more important than game design. I said it. I'm just kidding.
Jones,
Well, I'm totally kidding, but
it's
I mean,
very important.
But I mean,
Yeah.
look at this is a crazy example. Here we have a guy who is, I mean, like, do we have any concern that the guy can't make a good video game or can't make a good game in this style? You know, it's like he's like, I'm taking another character. I'm basically continuing this type of game that I've made for so many years.
It was a no question home run 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And then somehow it doesn't matter how good that game is. It's just it just seems like something like that didn't come out. We're
Yeah.
not past that point.
God, I hope Bloodstain doesn't turn out like that.
It won't.
I'm so scared for that.
Bloodstain looks cool. If you're watching the videos they put out, it's actually looking good.
It won't.
I'm hyped on
Please,
Bloodstain.
Igarashi.
It's not a problem.
Yep.
Which is why I just think Bloodstain needs if Bloodstain needs to take a long time to develop the game, that's fine. Just really be careful the moments where you're like, hey, everybody, Bloodstain. And they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay. And we all show up. What? And just like, this is new art. And like, no, don't. The next time you do that, when you snap with the megaphone, don't not art. You know, like make
Yes,
that
Jones.
make it like what 4 months? I'm ready. We'll just do it. I'll go tell my friends, and we'll be ready in 4 months.
Make sure it's ready when you
But
do
yeah.
it.
don't every now and then.
Because Mighty Number
you know.
9 would be at PAX, and they're just like, we're doing an animated series.
Yeah. See, like yeah.
Yeah.
I never want Shenmue 3 to get a release date. Ever.
That's a good idea.
Never, ever give it a date. Be like,
Yeah.
we're almost done. We're almost done.
Yeah.
It's coming very, very soon. Okay, it's out. Here you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
100% that.
The dream. Yeah.
Whatever, you've made your money. You got your Kickstarter money.
It's like we're here to announce a Shenmue 3 delay. We were going to release it yesterday, but it's coming out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone would be so happy. So much goodwill. Oh, it's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
So
I get scared every time I'm gonna miss it. Kyle.
You did really good, dude. You know what I like is you're kind of like a conductor. I think listeners are missing that. Is
I was
like
following
he
along,
conducts
Huber.
with it?
I was
Yeah.
like, please guide me, Huber.
It's like Bald Bull and Mike Tyson punch out. You're like, can I do it? Can I do it? When he charges.
We have really good vibes right now.
Love
I
it.
want to. Here we go. Let's see if we can handle this one right now, despite our good vibes.
No. We got really good vibes, but let's see if we can handle this.
Okay, so this comes from. I just really like this question a lot. This comes from Fergus Pearson. Hey all, question for the panel. Kyle hates the word gameplay. I get that, but do any of the staff do as I do and cringe when they hear the word story when discussing the quality of a game? Just like gameplay, I feel story is just a vague, unhelpful gremlin of a word that should be avoided when wanting to do anything but provide the briefest of overviews of a game. I mean, what is a story? It's plot, characters, setting, lore, pacing, progression, tone, mood, and so much more, all of which can be conveyed through music, leitmotifs, motion capture, etc. Similarly, all too often I see a good story only being synonymous with a game being cinematic, which I feel is very close-minded. Case in point, my favorite video game story would either be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Rival Schools, or Parappa the Rapper.
Dude.
What do you think? Oh, and yes, I think story versus gameplay debate is asinine.
Props for bringing up Rival Schools.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah. Really won me over with the favorite stories there
I
at
was
the
like,
end.
dude, what?
So how do we feel about that? How do we feel about just like, oh, the story's good when you talk about a video game?
I think it's a case-by-case basis and whoever's talking about how they say it. Like if they just go and story, but if they say story but they kind of flesh it out a little more, then I'm like, okay, whatever. There are some words I think they have to use, no matter how we're like gameplay. Sometimes it's just how they do it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, he is right when it's like kind of a vague word, but again, like, kind of like Brad was saying, it's all about the context. It's all about what you say with it. Like if I'm writing a review and I'm like, the story starts here, and like along the way there are characters and emotions, and you expand on that. So it's just all about.
Do you use the word story in your reviews?
I think I have like once in a while.
Okay.
Not anymore. I try not to.
Wow. Yeah. So Jones, one of my favorite words to use, a couple in this situation. I love context. I love the word scenario. Scenario is a word I really like a lot. Do you remember like old RPGs would have scenario directors and like this person, their job was to make the scenario? Like that totally makes sense to me. That is something that I do enjoy talking about as opposed to a story. Where do you stand? What words do you like? Do you like story?
I think story's fine. I think it's like he's almost defends the concept of a story in a way, depending on how you use it. Like you said, Huber, because he was like, story means all these other things.
Yeah.
So if I were to bring it up in a negative, and I would say, if you're looking for story, meaning all those other things, you're not going to find it here. Like, I don't mean you won't find plot here. I won't mean you won't find characters here.
You're playing
Or you
Tetris.
won't find good scenarios here.
Yeah.
I mean all of that. Anything you think means story, Not here. You
Yeah.
know, it's just not happening. Or even something like Transistor, which is a bad example because I haven't played it, but like that might be something like, oh yeah, Bastion was cool, and like no, it's actually very different. Again, haven't played Transistor, so I'm just picking something out of a hat as far as like people not knowing really what the narrative is something that I like actually.
Narrative's a good word.
Because to me they mean they're different things. Like story is very broad, plot is like kind of what's going on, what's like the point of it. Narrative is like literally like this happened, then this happened, then it's like the sequence of events. So yeah, story is kind of a broad term, but if you want to be broad, you should have the ability to do that. I don't know if you like outlaw a word without really seeing its context.
I think it's just a word that people use a lot, and people are kind of sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
Like experience.
I like experience.
It's like the
gameplay.
same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just said all the time to fill space or something like that.
I'm gonna start using plot because that's what I do. Because I don't like to tell people the plot in a review. I like to say, yo, the premise is this. Like,
yeah,
play
but
it, play it and find out on your own. But then, like,
Yeah.
tone and all that is usually going to be in the paragraphs about, like, yo, I'm using the shotgun, and, like, you go in a dark alley and you really feel the impact of the bullet because of the ambiance and, like, because of the mood that has been set and because your dad got shot with a shotgun. So, you know, like, I don't know.
Is that a game?
Nah, I was thinking of Max Payne, and then it got
okay.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Max Payne's dad is ever around, is it?
Max Payne's dad.
Writing, I think, though, is totally something, again, where it's really easy to say bad writing. And, like, bad writing can be problematic of so many things. But, like, that's one that I totally, like, some games to me just have bad writing. And that's sloppy for me to say. Because writing is a ton of things. Like, if I'm playing a Halo game and a spaceship crashes in front of me, somebody wrote that.
Yeah.
That I guess
Screenplay.
can count as writing. Yeah.
But if you're good, if you're really in control of language and you use very specific focused words in a review, and then at the end of your argument go, it just has bad writing. You know, like if you like simplify it, like then it works. Like then it's like, but again, in context, if I took that one sentence and put in another review where that person talked that way the whole time, then it's just like, okay, I can't really. You're making general statements. I can't really get specifically where you're focused at. But if you choose like, okay, no, I'm going to use that very generic word in this spot, but you can kind of sense my frustration and be like, I can't be focused. The game doesn't deserve that kind of attention. You know, like there are ways to use broader words in a more, you know, intentionally, like
So,
with intent. Where I'm like,
shouldn't
I
outlaw
see
the
why
broad
you
words.
use that. Not that was a crutch, but like I get the point you were making there.
I look up to Ben so much. I always ask for his feedback. There have been like 4 or 5 times where I'm like, this word is so bad. It's so generic. It's so bland. And like every single time, he just says it's how you use it.
Cool.
It's fine. Every word is fine. Just how you use it.
Great lesson from Ben. I like
Yeah.
that. Before we move on, I do want to know your favorite stories in games. You know, we have some really great ones there. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you know, Parappa the Rapper is honestly one of my favorite stories as well.
Sure, I got one.
What's up?
Shadow of the Colossus.
Cool.
It's a very simple story, but I just like how it's executed.
Yeah.
For me, it's not necessarily how complicated the story is, but how it's delivered.
Sure.
Something like that.
Resident Evil 1.
Right. That game has terrible writing. Terrible dialogue, I should say.
Terrible.
But it's still one of Huber's favorite stories, which I think is cool.
love it.
Yeah. Jones, what's one of your favorite stories?
I'll dive in a story within a story.
Whoa.
I have a game that its story is so exceptional. I'll pick one little moment, not even a character arc, one little dot on the meter of that character arc. Castle Domo is attacked. Cyan's inside, trying to save all of his people. Realizes that the asshole clown across the river has poisoned the drinking water, killing the entire castle. Everyone, all of his friends, his generals, soldiers he worked with, realizes in a panic, oh my god, my family, like my who I thought was safe, like they're in there, runs in, wife already dead, child clinging to life, dies in his arms, runs out like, I'm gonna kill myself, I don't care, I'm gonna die in this moment. And you just have like talk about a moment to meet a character that's now gonna be in your party, just to be like, wait, whoa, hold on, what just happened? Like, why are you so angry? Why are you attacking this guy that's clearly gonna kill you? Then you get him out. And then he goes on a train that carries the undead to the afterlife, meets his wife, who then says goodbye to them again, and sees them going off into like the game just pauses. 6 literally gives you 20 seconds of silence after it. So just
Soak it up.
just drink that in. You know, just, you know, like literally, like if you walk to all the characters and try to talk to them, like Cyan's not saying anything, or Cyan, or how you pronounce it, but like
Closure.
That's Dragon
Yeah.
Quest 6 you're talking
On the
about?
Super Nintendo. Yes.
Dragon Quest 6.
Dragon Warrior in the States.
Oh,
but
God,
yeah.
sorry, of course. Jones, that's a really good answer, man.
Ugh.
Clearly you're impacted, man. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Shaken.
We have
Later he's in like a bar and a prostitute tries to hit on him and he's like, no,
like, no. No.
I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
So, Jones, what I like about that, before we move on, I know we should, but like that the way that game's story is delivered is basic today. I think that a new person playing that today, a new 14-year-old, would not have that same impact that you are passionately talking about right
Yeah.
now. That's so crazy to me. You know, what a strange
I
medium we
finished
have.
that game later in life.
Uh-huh.
I played it when it came out on SNES, but I didn't finish it. I finished it, I think, 10 years ago, but I still think it held up. I still think that storytelling holds up.
Do you feel those emotions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm positive I would not remember the scene where the prostitute's trying to pick him up. You
When
know what I
he
mean?
was
Like, those
talking,
things
I was
fade.
picturing the scene he was talking about already.
Cool. Very cool.
And I was like, yeah, that's a great scene in that game.
Final Fantasy's good stuff.
Yeah, Final Fantasy's had some great moments.
Does anyone on the panel ever feel conflicted about going on media blackout, considering you are all popular voices in the community with opinions that the viewers value?
Did you hear that?
Oh, I know. This is extremely relevant today. Yeah, that's why I picked this one. Do you feel bad about not being able to share opinions on latest trailers with us? Have you ever considered breaking the blackout for the sake of producing content? Just curious, as this is an area I would really struggle with if I was in your position. Thanks as always. Keep up the great work. Chris Martin, not from Coldplay.
I was like,
Well, we pick each other up. You know, like if we're blackout on something, there's so many other people.
yeah.
There's so many other allies.
There's
like,
usually someone to cover
covering it, talking about it, whatever.
Okay.
You know, like we're
Final
so,
Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Good example.
We're
Sure.
so media
Yeah.
blackout for Dark Souls 3. I was for so long, but like Ben reviewed it. He's streaming it. He's talking about it. Brad beat it really quick. He's talking about
Brad
it.
was blackout on
Yeah,
Theater.
but he beat it quick enough and got in there with Ben, and so I think there's always someone to.
I'm not a blackout guy at all.
No, yeah, I mean,
Jones
exactly.
is not
Jones
at all.
will
Every-
love-
spoilers.
Every now and then, once in a blue moon, I'll see a trailer and go, I could have done without that one. That one might have been a little bit too much.
Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
I still have yet to see Batman.
Oh my gosh!
But Jones, you know it. You absolutely know what happens in the movie.
Yeah, you've seen the whole movie.
Because
Oh
of
no,
that
of
trailer.
course, yeah. But no, it wasn't that. I think it was a game where I was like, ooh, oops, okay.
Arkham
I
Knight.
actually when we did our community video, I slapped some new Uncharted 4 footage I hadn't seen in the video, and was like, oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Jones, I was watching my phone every time Uncharted 4 came up. I had to like throw my phone away and then come back and pick. Yeah,
They're in a car driving. Oh my god.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not. It's like, oh, my experience would have been a little bit better if I maybe hadn't have watched that, but not like, oh no, I screwed it up. You know, I never.
But my
wanna feel like
feeling
that.
is that like, in terms of like, don't you feel like you're depriving everyone of content? Is like, no, we do so much more.
Oh,
We-
for us, them, no,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no.
You know, like you don't need that. You don't need my opinion on the Uncharted 4 trailer. I don't feel like I'm depriving you of
I've-
anything. You know?
I guess I can announce it now. Like I am reviewing Uncharted 4, and I don't want to talk to anyone, even the allies, until they've finished it.
Right.
So we can be on the same page and share it together. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I feel like I'm respecting the craft and the integrity of the game by not talking about it with people until they finished it. Because that's exactly how Naughty Dog wants it. They want you to play the game and finish it spoiler free. You know, all those leaked copies came out and they're freaking out. They're like, yo, please, if you're out there, like, keep it under wraps. Like, don't spoil it. I don't know. I want to share it with you. Because even like Dark Souls, you know, like I'm catching up, but like, you know, Ben and Brad, they don't spoil it, but Ben is like, you know, oh, there's a good part coming up, or
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's a pretty good boss.
Just wait.
Yeah,
I remember the lunch we
Like,
had. He was spilling a little too much.
Yeah,
And I was like, Ben, you
He
can't
was
do
just
that.
like,
man.
oh, Brad,
Can't
you're gonna
say
be
that
so
in front of
upset.
me.
Yeah.
yeah. Where
Uh,
it's just like I'd rather just not say anything.
Brad, do you feel bad though? Like this is your job. You get paid for this. Do you feel bad? Like if somebody wants to talk about Dark Souls 3 with you and you're just like, no, I didn't look at that.
That happens to
trailer."
me all the time.
And then what do you feel about it?
I feel kind of bad, but I'm always very clear about, I guess, Blackout. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I think there's so many people you can get opinions from. We just might take a little longer, so I think there's plenty of room to fill that gap, I guess.
Sure.
But I mean, you're the Overwatch man, right? What if you were like, yo, not talking to anyone about Overwatch for a month.
Those spoilers.
You know, like people want to hear your specific opinion.
I guess.
I feel bad about it.
I mean, I feel kind of bad too, but like you said, there's always someone even here to talk to
yeah.
about something like that. And I don't do that often, I guess, for games. Yeah. Only games that are really, really special for me, I guess.
It's like a couple times a year.
If that, maybe once a year for me.
Yeah, like
maybe.
once, twice.
So right now, for me, it is Uncharted. It is Final Fantasy 15. I don't want...
Persona, I'll watch. It's fine. Persona, I'll watch.
That's
I've
such
seen
a
a
good...
lot.
That first reveal trailer, dude, is so good.
So good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it's
gonna
really
watch
good.
all
Just for
those
the art of
trailers.
trailers. Like,
Yeah.
what do we think about Zelda? Like, we're just talking about Zelda.
This is going to be a tough one for
This
me.
can be a tough one.
I don't know.
I
don't know
want to
what
be
I'm gonna
media
do.
blackout on Zelda, but I kind of also want to see this full-on E3 immersive experience that they're planning.
I'm ready.
Or so are we all ready? Are we all going in there?
I'm going in.
Oh yeah.
If Huber's jumping in, it's
I'm
going to be a lot
jumping
easier
into
for me.
Zelda
Okay.
for sure.
All right, we're in on Zelda. But then no more.
Yeah.
No more until March of 2017 or whatever you put the game out.
Shenmue, I'll watch a trailer, but I don't really check the Kickstarter updates.
The stuff's been great so far.
They got way better at
Yeah.
it. Like in the beginning, he laid out like the entire plot and everything, and
Oh,
I was
boy.
like, whoa,
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much. Yeah. So he's like toning it down. It's nice.
Jones, could you ever fathom being media blackout on anything?
No.
Wow.
Because I love media too much.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the marketing
Love
too
trailers.
much. I love
Yeah.
to me it's another art form. You know,
Yeah.
I'd stop. I'd be like, don't watch the first 9 episodes, just watch the finale. I'd be like, it's the whole thing. I gotta watch the season.
Yeah.
You know, to me the season is debut to launch.
And I mean,
You know,
it is for a lot of
even
our fans,
for
too.
even past that, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of our fans, I think, can completely relate to that. They love the hype. They love not
Mm-hmm.
being on blackout. And so, yeah, I do feel bad that there's that disconnect.
Like even like ooh, Japanese trailer, 2 new shots. Like I love going in there and finding those 2 new shots and being like, why was, because I bet that wasn't like a huge plan on like Marvel to be like, put in 2 shots in the Civil War Japanese shot. That was just some editor in Japan that did some, oh no, that shot's better because Japanese culture likes this weird thing that we do, you know, or from that direction or whatever, you know, whatever like dumb decision,
Yeah.
you know, that he made. And then like here in the you know, fast forward to the States, we're all freaking out about it. Why was that put in? And you know, like, yeah, it's too much fun.
Honestly, I think our fans have been very respectable of us, though, when we say
Yeah, the
media
only,
blackout.
the only time I think Media Block ever came up in my position of like assigning things to people was for GT Live. When like it was the last minute, I'd be like, "Hey, can somebody come over and just play this game on GT Live?" And somebody would be like, "Media Blackout." I'm like, "Oh, really?" I think that happened like once
This
or
is
twice.
your job. Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't, you know. So for like, if someone were signing someone a project, or like E3, I think is a good example. Like, if one of you guys came to a panel after E3 or a PAX or a TGS or something, and we're like, "So let's talk about that," and you're like, "Oh, Media Blackout." It's like, well, what are you doing here? You know, like, it's like. But if it was just some Thursday and some 8-minute walkthrough came out, then like, yeah, you don't need to have an informed opinion on that game, you know, and watch that at the same time. Like you can still have an opinion about it,
Yeah.
and it'd be like, sorry guys, I'm not, no spoilers, I'm not watching.
So we're
that game."
only blackout me and you for 15 for the rest of the year after Uncharted.
Yeah, I think so, dude.
All right,
I mean,
I think I'm gonna stamp that. I'm in every conversation now except for 15.
I'm assuming, though, Hubert, there's going to be some crazy stuff to announce at E3.
Oh no, I lied. Can I take it back?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Deus Ex. Full media
I did
blackout.
not know your media blackout on that.
Oh, dude.
That was a close one.
Yeah, it was very close.
Well, here's the funny thing. It's like if any of you, if I ever start a sentence, you know, I'm just like, oh hey, we got a cool trailer, and you're like, wait for what? I'm like, oh, new Mankind Divided. You're like, Media Blackout. I will totally respect that. I'm not gonna remember what things you're Media Blackout. Sure. I'm not gonna keep a sheet of paper and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
wait a minute, Kyle said, oh no,
Jones, how dare you? Yeah.
I didn't write that one down. You're doing that one too? Okay, well I'll make a note. I apologize, Kyle.
Don't tweet, but yeah, don't tweet Hubert about Deus Ex. Don't do it. He doesn't want to hear it.
We should have a show called Media Blackout where it's like where you send like Huber into like a room where it's just a bunch of TVs at the end of hallways with showing like footage from Deus Ex.
And see how
And
he
he's
avoids
got to
it?
go in squinting, you know, you know, like
Find his way
can't
through.
see it.
But like the code to get out is on the TV, so you have.
It's
to
like yeah, the key is like right in front of the TV, so you gotta like get it.
That's a cool... Guys, like, it's an analogy. Like, that is what trying to avoid trailers for Civil War is. It's just really like that in my day-to-day. We don't have time for this last question, but I did want to acknowledge it. John Gallagher, the question ends, do you think 27 going on 28 is too old to go into this industry? I say, heck no.
No.
No, never
too late.
never too old.
Never.
Wait, like never too old.
As a matter of fact, I mean, one thing to even like reinforce, it's like turn it into an answer, but like, I mean, if you're like in your 40s, like late 40s, early 50s, and you're not like a designer, like that's when games started, so like we're still discovering what people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s can offer this industry. So like even in your 50s or 60s, it's just like, no, jump in, we can. There's all sorts of people,
Oh, and John was talking about like our end of coverage.
Yeah.
Oh, I was 27 when I started in video games.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, I don't think too old is a thing.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta have energy because it's.
I was thinking of
very
just
tiring.
like some dope 60-year-old with a cigarette, like talking about like what happened in World of Warcraft today could still be a cool video. You know?
Yeah.
What, Brad?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, just
It's like, yeah, man, I was camping these Alliance scum.
New patch today.
Yeah, new patch.
got a new
New patch
patch today.
dropped.
I was thinking, finally.
Whenever a patch comes out, I put on a patch. Cigarettes.
Because he's trying to quit. I'm trying to quit. So thank you everyone for your questions. I love the variety that we get. There's so many thoughtful questions every week. Sorry we can't do them all. It's time for bets, however. Time to get serious. Uncharted 4 will be released next week. I'm going to look at the top 10 most recent reviews on GameRankings.com. How many times will I find the word murder? We've decided murderer is included, as well as murdering and murders, just all forms of any word.
MURDER, if those letters are put in that order
Yeah.
at any point.
Yes. Jones, how many times will we see the word murder?
I'm feeling a little cocky this week. I don't think so. I think I'm just going one. I'm going low.
Nice.
Damn.
What's wrong, Brad?
I feel like people are going to keep this stupid meme alive.
Sure.
So I'm saying 8.
Nice. Huber?
I have confidence.
2.
Ooh.
Price is Right.
Uh-oh.
My bet is
Real small.
3.
Oh, you bastards.
Wow.
So this
Well, at
is
least
a
if
tricky
there's
one.
one or none, I
I'm
get
gonna
it.
go ahead and lock that
Let's
in.
go hot 8.
So we need 2 or 6 and above. Because
Yeah.
you have 3 and 4 and 5. And he has
Yeah.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah. And 9, 10.
Shoot. I don't know.
He was
I'm
not
nervous.
feeling good
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
scared.
It's
Believe.
hard, dude. I don't know if
The
they're
Red
gonna say
Eagles-
murder. It's just. It's such
When
like
Drake's not busy mass murdering
Yeah,
all
oh
these
my God.
thieves to get treasure.
You get to choose what you want to say in a conversation.
Do you want to
Hey, wait, is that a VO slight? I don't, what are you insinuating there? What?
Will you go Paragon or Renegade?
That's all you do, Jones. It's
Yeah.
just like, that's your job, man.
That's what you sound like.
Last week's bet, we bet on Battleborn.
Oh, okay.
How far into the game would we have to play before we got to our first swear word? Jones, you bet 2 minutes 45 seconds. Ben bet 1 minute and 35. Bloodworth bet 1 second. I bet 31.
I love 1 second. I love
love
the
that
image
bet.
of it.
That's such a
Because it just opens. Shit.
yeah. When I wrote the bet, and I assume because of what we saw for most people's bets, I didn't know the game was rated T for teen. Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
But still, T for teen, you still throw swear words out there.
Every now and then, yeah. There are swear words in the game.
Jones, you've been reviewing this game.
Yes.
How long until the first swear word?
Way more than 2 minutes and something, whatever I said.
We just stopped counting after 2 minutes 45.
Yeah, we were streaming it tonight. I think around the 45 to hour mark, somebody said bullshit, and we were like, "Oh!" Like, I think
Bastard.
Blood pointed
We saw
it out.
bastard.
Saw bastard. Someone says hell pretty early on, but we didn't
Doesn't
count that
count.
one. Yeah.
Bastard doesn't count?
No. Well, there's that episode of
No,
Doug where he
bastard
talks.
doesn't
He
count.
says that a lot.
Okay.
Doug says bastard?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Are you sure it's not like crap or something?
No. He calls it. It's a weird episode. He says that to Porkchop.
Roger.
Bastard?
That's crazy.
What?
I can't picture Doug saying that.
Damn, Doug funny?
Yeah.
Doug Funny, legit from.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
One of my
Yeah.
Damn,
That's
Doug.
that's a correction. That's coming back to us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's an
There's
episode.
no
of Doug.
way Doug says bastard.
Yes.
Maybe Roger.
No, he gets mad at Porkchop. Whatever.
Link
I'm not
didn't
buying
happen.
it.
Doug drops the B-bomb.
I'm not buying it. Check the tape.
This rare Mary Worth, when she convinces a friend to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that?
Simpsons.
Oh, okay. Jones.
Patty said no to a date. She's a bastard.
It starts off with like a weird. It has like a kind of like a Zelda-ish, like we're looking at some sort of mural,
Right.
and then like there's no swear words there.
No,
that's
it's
where
very
Hell came in, I
serious.
think,
Yeah,
actually,
it's
yeah. And then an animated intro that's Del the Funky Homo Sapien doing a rap.
Yeah, it's
No
like-
swear words during the whole rap, Jones?
I was listening. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, he might have slipped them in there at some point or said like half of one or something, but nothing.
Keep it teen.
Yeah, it was
it
very focused on the story. It was very, even when it got into gameplay and I was controlling like a very loudmouthed, sassy character, like she was very focused on what was happening.
So, Jones,
Yeah.
you've got us another point, man.
Yeah.
The score right now, Green Lizards 2, Red Eagles, Caca 4.
Wait, how come you guys get some sweet sound effect?
You can have one if you want one.
What do lizards make? They're like, or something like that.
I like
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hannibal Lecter style.
Yeah.
So let's do it again. Let's do it one more time. All right. Green Lizards 2, Red Eagles 3. There we go. So, Jones, because you won the bet.
Excellent.
You know what? Before we do any of that, I do want to push Patreon harder because I realize we don't even communicate this every week.
Sell it.
If you go to patreon.com/easyallies, if you become a patron of Easy Allies of $5 or more, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get it on Wednesdays. You have
Yep.
early access to the podcast. I don't think I ever
Early
communicate
access.
that. I wish I did not use those words.
I think
Wish I
We're
used...
Steam now.
in the first episode, I believe we mentioned something to that effect.
Okay, but then we didn't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like here we are, at episode 6 or whatever.
And love and respect is for everyone on.
No, that's also $5 and up.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to have a question submitted, you need to be a $5 patron. So yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing that we do. So check it out. At least give it a look. Look at what we're doing. Look at what we're up to. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. This is the Easy Allies podcast, after all. All right, so Jones, now your prizes. You get the right and responsibility to reveal your Twitter handle.
Okay.
You get the last word on anything you've disagreed with that any of us have brought up this entire podcast.
If I got one.
You definitely had some strong opinions this
Yeah.
week, Jones.
They weren't really like against anyone though.
NX, Nintendo. There's gotta
Yeah,
be
it'll
something
probably
there.
be. It's probably gonna be a Zelda thing.
Oh my god. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like, and then you get to give everyone your trademark sign off.
You can find me at Trailer Jones on Twitter. I just finished our very first monthly community video. I'm calling it Community Comments. It will go up at the beginning of every month. I will put up a new post. There's one on Patreon right now. If you are a patron, you can go find it. It is called Community Comments for May. And you want to comment on that video.
That one's a high tier though, Jones.
That is 20 and above, I believe.
Yeah. If you want to be in that video,
So
you gotta
$20
be
and above can drop a comment on there. I selected comments for the video that were very like, you know, like one guy was great. He was like, and I put you playing Overwatch over it. He was like, I like being on the losing team.
That was my favorite one.
He's like, I love being. He's like, I will switch to the losing team in a multiplayer match. He's like,
Just
because they got more heart. He's like, I like the vibe when we finish the match more because everyone's into it. And he's like, and I feel like when we win, everyone just bails, and then I'm stuck with a team after that doesn't care. Or
It was
whatever.
Ali.
It's
I remember the name even.
That was really interesting. And so I want comments like that. I want it to
Yeah.
be this crazy grab bag of just like all these thoughts and weird things. And then I kind of sectioned it off into like there's a Hyper Light Drifter section and Dark Souls. So like there will be like Ratchet was like, you know, a part where they just talked about Ratchet. So yeah, the more crazy out there comments you can throw in there, the better. But that's the first time we've done it. We never did something like that at GT. That's
and it turned out
that's
to be a cool video.
yeah, and it's fun. I love when you mention Fergus. I was like, yeah, Fergus. You know, like I know these people now because I'm like trying to memorize their names. We're actually their names are coming up for the podcast at the end. Our new patrons officially for May. But monthly community video, you can check it out. It is public on our youtube.com/EasyAllies channel. I am more nervous for Nintendo going into E3 than I have ever been. I think this is going to be an absolute nightmare. I don't think Zelda's going to be the only game. I don't believe that. I think they're going to have something else. There's no way. That would be unprecedented. If it's unprecedented, I will stand there and applaud. I'll stand there in front of the booth and go, "Wow, Nintendo, you did it! Wow, you blew my expectations out of the water." But I don't think it's going to happen. There's going to be some 3DS game or something. It's weird. Or there's gonna be some cat. They're gonna do a show, or there's gonna be a musical performance or something. They're gonna, I don't know. Oof, weird. It's icky. Yeah, exactly. My trademark sign off. Cheers.